Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Screaming for Progress. I'm your host, Stuart Lang, at Out After Dark 216 on Twitter. Alongside me, as usual, I have the grim fish, Liam Morrow. Liam, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm alright, apart from fucking Christmas being stuffed down my throat, but my wife loves it, so I'm kind of forced.
Yeah, we do all have to kind of smile and accept Christmas as an eventuality, which is a nice seg into our Chapter 57 title, which is Enter Smiling, the newest Progress show to hit Progress on demand. And yeah, overall, pretty decent show. I think that Chapter 56 was not the best thing that they've done, but 57 was a nice sort of return to form. Just overall, what were your thoughts on the show before we go into sort of match by match?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was sort of going back to some of their earlier chapters that I used to enjoy, and sort of it seemed to be after like the Super Strong Style tournament, a couple of them got a bit, I don't know, a bit slow.
Yeah.
They had the couple in sort of New York and Boston that were okay-ish. But yeah, it seems to have taken off a bit again, so happy with that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we kind of are in a like a sort of new beginning for the company. Just with people starting to leave, people going elsewhere, them sort of they're kind of rebooting, they're reinventing a little bit, which is fine. I hope that they kind of keep what was so likable about the shows in the first place. And like you say, this was a bit sort of reminiscent of earlier shows. It's quite interesting. We were talking sort of off air about it and sort of who's going to step up and be the next guy, and that's really up in the air at the moment. So it's kind of exciting. I feel like while there's not really anyone really to root for right now, it's good because it could be anyone. That guy could come from anywhere. So yeah, pretty good. So we'll start with the beginning. We'll go through match by match. We had the team of Jimmy Havoc and Mark Haskins. At one point, commentary kind of pointed out there were the three H's, which I thought was pretty funny. You got to watch that comparison there. The trio of H's there. Hunter Haskins. Jimmy Havoc, Mark Haskins, accompanied with the always wonderful Vicky Haskins and her large bat. We saw them at Chapter 56, killing Jack Sexsmith with the spiky bat that I complained about last time as being kind of unrealistic. And Sexsmith came out and he was granted a mystery partner. And we got Matt Riddle, which was a big surprise. It wasn't announced beforehand. He wasn't. It was kept pretty well secret, and there was only sort of one big surprise throughout the rest of the night that probably beat this one. So it was pretty good to see Matt Riddle again. They were announced as the Sexy Bros, and we had a sort of 15-minute match. What were your thoughts on this one?
I thought Havoc and Haskins, they definitely look dangerous together as a tag team.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they've sort of tagged in other companies with each other, so they've sort of built up a rapport. But they look like probably tag champs at some point. Jack Sexsmith, actually, he's sort of, I liked him anyway, but he's sort of his actual technique in the ring has started to come quite good.
Yeah.
And Matt Riddle, he's usually awesome anyway. So
yeah, I mean that's one thing I think that is to be touched upon. Like Jack Sexsmith, he was trained by Jimmy Havoc. Actually, I always thought that Sexsmith looked kind of sloppy in the ring. But he has improved. This was a good fun match. It sort of ended with Matt Riddle being taped to the ring post. by Havoc and Haskins, which allowed them to hit every move on the planet on Sexsmith to put him away. And then it was like this sort of weird acid rainmaker super kick thing that they did to finish him. And yeah, they looked like killers. I think the only thing that for me is making me disagree with you saying about like tag champs at some point is what happened on Sunday night at Chapter 58. But
yeah,
we can't really talk about that.
I've been trying to get away from spoilers for that. But
yeah.
I kind of saw it anyway. So.
Yeah, so we will we'll talk about that as and when we see it and when it happens. Hopefully we'll be a lot quicker in getting the next chapter up online. Apologies for the delay. I didn't say that at the start of the episode, but yeah, so Havoc and Haskins looked like killers. They took Riddle out the match well so that he didn't really lose any steam, and they were able to kill Sexsmith. So all in all, good start to the show. Next up, we had an Atlas match with Joe Coffey coming in to replace his ICW buddy Wolfgang against Doug Williams, who's wrestled for 800 years, kind of everywhere except the big leagues, really. I feel like he probably wrestled like giant haystacks like many years ago, but anyway, this was okay. I mean, I'm not a massive Joe Coffey fan. I certainly thought the match that he put on at ICW Fear and Loathing against BT Gunn was a lot better than this. Although, you know, you're kind of stuck with your dance partner in a wrestling match. But I think for an Atlas competitor, I think Joe Coffey is a pretty good addition. What did you think here? I mean, do you see it as more than just a typical Atlas match?
Yeah, I mean, Doug Williams touched upon it. It looks like he might be now coming to the end of his career, like, because he's been around. Oh God, what, like 30-something years, all in all.
Yeah.
Which for what they do is a long time.
Yeah.
You know, even like Triple H, he's still in amazing condition. He can't do it week in, week out like he used to.
Yeah.
Because it takes a toll. But you know, you can still kind of see he hasn't lost his technique, but he just hasn't got his speed or anything anymore.
Yeah.
Although he did try something off the top rope.
Yeah, it was like
a
sort of diving uppercut thing, wasn't it? It was kind of weird, sort of almost like Cesaro-esque kind of dive. But yeah, when you're saying about him not being able to do it anymore, he did kind of touch upon that at the end of the match. Joe Coffey picked up the win with his discus lariat. He took the mic and said he didn't think that he could do it anymore. And do you know what? That's a shame. I don't like seeing guys retire, but he's probably earned it. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's had a pretty good career. He's been all over the world and had matches with, well, almost everyone, I think. So
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's probably he's well deserving of it. So Doug, take your time and you know maybe just relax a little bit. So next up we had a four-way women's match between Alex Windsor, Candy Floss, Dahlia Black, and Ginny. This was to announce the number one contender for Toni Storm's Women's Championship. Toni was on commentary for it, which was fine. Got to see her, that's good. We got to hear her, that's also kind of good. So, perfect. Dahlia and Ginny kind of went right at it. As soon as it started, they killed each other on the chairs. It was disgusting. By all accounts, chapter 58, sorry, they have an absolute war, so I'm looking forward to seeing that one. And yeah, it ended up being sort of Alex Windsor and Candy Floss. this was better than I expected it to be honest. I'm not a fan of Alex Windsor, and I've only seen Candy Floss briefly, but yeah, I think it was a pretty decent outing actually. I'd probably say to this point it was probably to this point in the show it was my match of the night. I think. Thankfully we got better throughout the rest of the night, but like to this point I thought this was the best thing on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Ginny and Dahlia Black. I think Alex Windsor winning it was maybe because she was originally in that sort of 8-woman tournament.
Yeah.
And she had to drop out last minute.
Yeah.
To be replaced by Ginny. So
yeah.
I think maybe that was like a kind of redemption storyline for her.
Yeah.
I can possibly see her beating Toni Storm, because Storm's had that title now for a long time. So it's going to take, I think, something big to upset her. But yeah, I mean, Candy Floss was okay. Like you, I haven't seen much of her, so I can't say how this stacks up to another match she might have been in.
Yeah. I mean, she's basically a female bubblegum, isn't she? Like...
Yeah, it's a stupid name. But...
It's a stupid name, but kind of serviceable in the ring. I can't agree with Alex Windsor defeating Toni Storm. I think she's going to be picked up and chewed up and spat out. I think that Windsor was probably the one person here that was least interesting, to be honest. I think that obviously Dahlia and Ginny were battering into each other, set up their match, because that's been building for weeks. Candy Floss was never going to get the nod, being this new in. So, yeah, I think that Windsor kind of won by default. I think that we're probably going to see somebody kind of new in to take the belt from Toni. I think we're going to end up seeing, this is just, again, total prediction, I feel like we're going to see somebody like Viper coming in to take the belt off of Toni.
And that in a Progress ring is a match I would love to see.
Yeah.
Because you could kind of see flashes when they were together in the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah.
And you saw what the match could be. So I think in somewhere like Progress, that would be an incredible match. Yeah. Probably a sort of show stealer match.
Yeah, exactly. That would be phenomenal. You never know, they might somehow build it another year and we could see it at the at Wembley. You never know.
Yeah,
I doubt it. I don't think Toni Storm's holding the belt that long. She's not Asuka.
No.
But yeah, so again, that was a good fun match. We've got our number one contender for the women's belt, and we've finally got a bit of intrigue in the women's division again. Next up, we had Grizzled Young Vets, who's James Drake and Zach Gibson taking on Mustache Mountain. What was originally scheduled to be a 2-on-2 tag team match. Plenty of fun in the introductions. They went on probably about 10-15 minutes. Talking about how James Drake and the two of them had the WWE contracts and Zach Gibson didn't. He was the only one. There was a whole load of nonsense about dad bods and just... Yeah, it was what it was. It feels really weird watching British Strong Style as good guys all of a sudden. We're just kind of meant to forgive and forget. After the promo at Chapter 56, where Pete Dunne was like, we attempted murder number of times, we're sorry. But yeah, the crowd went mild when Joseph Connors came out and attacked. He then claimed that Pete Dunne would be sunning himself in Orlando, and yeah, big surprise, big pop of the night as well. It was when Pete Dunne came out. And we got a 6-man tag. So, about the match, what did you think here? I know you thought pretty highly of it, I think.
It was... I really liked it. I the more I see of Trent Seven, the more I'm liking him. I don't know why, but I can see him as probably not as good as Kevin Owens, but that type of character. Like, he doesn't look like your typical wrestler sort of thing. Tyler Bate as normal, just throwing people around more than he's got any right to for someone his size. Grizzled young vets, they just look really strong at the moment. Joseph Connors, I don't really care about, to be honest. But
I mean that's the problem, is that Joseph Connors, I think they wanted a much better reaction to, with him having been in the UK Championship and stuff like that. Like, it was a thing that happened, and I don't care. I don't want to see him pushed up the Progress ranks. I think I'd be quite happy if he was done. Really, he's not interesting. I think we've got people who do his character better in James Drake, in Mark Haskins, for example. Like, both of these guys are much more serviceable and more charismatic than Joseph Connors. And apart from, he looks pretty mean. Like, I don't really see what he gives the show at all, to be honest.
I just haven't seen anything from him so far that makes me to sort of notice him. Like, he's just sort of there. But the best part of the match, I think, was Pete Dunne using one of the security guards to kick, I think it was Connors, but then still throwing him back in the crowd like he used to.
Yeah.
I just thought that's like just something for sort of the older fans who remember him before he went off to WWE.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I didn't like was the sort of lack of continuity throughout the match. Because at the start, they were fighting out in the crowd. Trent Seven, like, he used a purse and a kid. And neither of these were DQs. But then we saw, and it's rare a DQ in Progress. Like, we don't see it very often. So the fact that there was a chair shot in a 6-man tag to end it, like, it felt really empty, and that really ruined it for me, to be honest. Like, if neither team can lose, don't make the match.
I think the purse thing, the match hadn't officially started.
Right. Okay.
Possibly. I can't remember how it sort of happened, but I'm pretty sure they started fighting before the bell had even rung.
Yeah. See, I seem to. I think it's because Smallman made the announcement and then Tyler kind of jumped straight outside. So yeah, maybe you're right there. But even so, like a DQ doesn't happen often in Progress, and it just, the end spoiled the match for me, because otherwise I thought it was pretty good. Aside from Joseph Connors, but bit of a flat one. That it kind of left me feeling a bit deflated. But we do have Dunne and Connors set up for a coming chapter, so we're going to see that pretty soon. So hopefully Pete Dunne gets a sort of big farewell win, and that's the last we see of Connors as well. That'd be wonderful. Thanks, Progress. So next up, we had the Progress Tag Team Championships on the line between CCK and Ring Camp, which includes the Atlas champion Walter, and it was Timothy Thatcher as well, because obviously Dieter is now in NXT doing whatever he's doing over there. So good for him. Better for these guys. I mean, CCK went for it like before the bell, which kind of made sense, but also like they're meant to be kind of the faces here. We got some sick fucking tag moves. This was pretty good fun as well. I had a lot of good thought it was a really good tag match. Ended with CCK hitting their sick fucking tag move. Thatcher got hit by the brainbuster by Lykos, which was incredible.
Yeah.
I still can't really believe that I saw that.
Yeah, because 9 times out of 10 he never actually manages to even lift him in the air.
Yeah, exactly. For all the times that you hear the shout and don't see the move, it was a very surprising one. But yeah, what did you reckon here?
Yeah, I think it was, quite a strong tag match. People keep trying to knife edge chop with Walter, and I can't understand why, because he's got, by all reckoning, he's got one of the nastiest chops there is.
Yeah.
So, someone like Kid Lykos is chopping him, and it's, almost half his size. Just don't bother.
Yeah.
And he hit a nasty one on what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Chris Brooks.
Chris Brooks, that's it.
Yep.
Oh my god, my mind just went blank then. Yeah, he hit a really nasty one on Chris Brooks and just completely flattened him. Yeah. And Walter's another one who I think he's going in tag matches because they don't have anyone for him to go against for the Atlas title.
Yeah.
They need to put him against Keith Lee. They have to.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Actually, I really like that idea. And yeah, kind of speaking of Keith Lee, he was up next. So yeah, CCK retained, so on and so forth. But this upcoming match was probably my match of the night. I thought it was great fun. I love Keith Lee. I love him. I am absolutely basking in his glory. And the no homo kind of way. But yeah, we had
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there is anything wrong with that, but I'm a pretty wee guy, he'd kill me. So we had Keith Lee taking on Flash Morgan Webster in the co-main event of the evening, and as you'd expect, this was a slightly one-sided affair. Flash bounced around like a pinball for him, and he made Lee look great. We got a few near falls around the sort of 10-minute mark for Webster, in the sort of David Goliath kind of way. But yeah, Keith Lee's incredible.
Yeah, he was throwing Webster around with them bills like nothing.
Yeah,
he was throwing him higher than himself.
Yeah.
Which is, probably half just his strength and half Webster selling it. But, as much as I do like Flash Morgan Webster, I think he's got quite a bright future. But, he seems to be allotted at the moment to making other people look good.
Yeah. I mean, I think
he's a bit detrimental to him at the moment.
Well, I think that's some people just end up falling into that category because, I don't see him as championship material. I don't see him as WWE material. He was scheduled for the UK Championship, and replaced. I mean, it was due to injury, but because of his bad timing on that, he's missed this big opportunity, and he's now back, and he is working and putting people over. So it's where does he go? Because he's not going to get the same sort of I'm trying to think of the right way. He's not going to get the same opportunities, is the word that I've been searching for so fucking painfully there, as the likes of Mark Andrews or Travis Banks, Tyler Bate, the guys who are on the sort of radar of other companies. He's a good worker, but he's been there since nearly day one, and he's not looking like he's really going up.
No, I think I think if Progress had a sort of mid-level title, like a Intercontinental or US title, I think he'd be in that sort of range at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe not even as sort of a long-standing champion, just the one who occasionally sort of goes for it.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I do like him, and when he's in the ring, I can kind of see the talent he's got, but I don't know whether it's his character or because I know the whole mod thing, that is him. Because I watched his Road Back to Malice thing, and that is what he's genuinely like. So maybe he just needs to. I don't know. I can't place my finger on it.
Yeah, I mean, you'd sort of said that he might be someone that ends up in the championship picture, and I can't really agree with that. But I do like what you said about Lee going on to challenge for the Atlas title. I think Lee and Walter is probably. I hadn't thought about it until you've said it, but right now it's the only match I want to see. I literally couldn't care less about anything else until that happens.
Yeah, they need a bigger ring, though.
They will absolutely need a bigger ring.
Or at least a stronger one.
Yeah, or potentially they just don't put the ring up. Like, they build the ring after that match. Just let it happen. Yeah. Just everyone puts their jackets down in the middle of the floor. Like,
yeah, just a few mats. Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. Last up, we had the Progress Championship match. Travis Banks taking on Mark Andrews. This match didn't sit particularly well with me. I think it was fine for the most part, but I feel like Mark Andrews got a lot of offense in before Banks inevitably retained. I feel like they've put too much into the build of Banks as champion for them to pass it on to another face quite quickly. And that kind of makes me wonder what they're going to do going forward with him, because I don't know that they're going to have him hold the belt for nearly as long as Pete Dunne did. But Mark Andrews wasn't going to win, especially when Keith Lee didn't either. And with Travis Banks has faced Pete Dunne, Matt Riddle at Chapter 58, which I've not seen the result of, despite the fact I could probably guess. And Keith Lee. And Mark Andrews just isn't like those guys. And I feel like Mark got most of the offense in this match. And you said that Travis Banks potentially making him like a bit of an underdog champion. They didn't build him as an underdog challenger.
No. I know what you mean about it not sitting right. Because he was, all through Super Strong Style tournament and his matches, before finally getting to Pete Dunne, he looked so strong, and now he, struggles against Mark Andrews, who nothing against him, but Banks, how he was, should be, walking over that. Yeah, really. And I think they've got him as champion, and now they don't really know what to do with him. Yeah,
well, I do have a horrible feeling that we're going to see the aftermath of the match coming into play soon, in that we saw Eddie Dennis come out and attack Mark Andrews with the FSU t-shirt on. He attacked Banks as well. He posed with the belt, and I have a horrible feeling that we're going to get the Eddie Dennis Mark Andrews match that Dennis is going to win. And I feel like we're then going to get Dennis versus Banks. And I think they're going to put the belt on Eddie Dennis.
Yeah, it does seem like that.
Yeah, and I'm not happy about that at all. I think Eddie Dennis is fine, but that's it. I don't get it. He's not a big time guy. I like the.
See, I'm really liking Eddie Dennis at the moment.
Well, that's
I know it's one of the few things we disagree on, but I can just see him as a champion at the moment.
Well, I think
the way he is.
I think you will sooner than later. Actually, I think we're probably going to end up with Dennis as champion probably around Thunder Bastard. I think, which in a few months' time, I think Dennis is going to be champion by then. Because like I don't like talking about behind the scenes stuff, but like he's just recently made the jump to being full time. He's well liked in the community. He's a hard worker. He's a safe worker as well. And yeah, I just think that we're going to see it. I think we're going to see Dennis as a heel champion. That may eventually lead to like Mark Andrews finally winning the big one. But I think that depends on what's happening with Andrews and his WWE status. And that they might miss the boat for that, because given the way that Progress like to build these things, that would be a showdown for the likes of Wembley next year. Eddie Dennis going in as heel champion with Mark Andrews finally getting a shot at redemption against his former friend and winning the title that he's never been able to hold for more than 10 minutes. But that's a year away. That's a year away, and I just don't think we're going to see that kind of long-term booking, especially as at any moment Mark Andrews could be gone.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I would say if Mark Andrews does go full-time WWE, he'd end up in the Cruiserweight division, which he's so much better than.
Yeah.
But, it's... I know what you're saying with the whole face versus heel thing, but I can't see them having a match over the title for some reason.
I don't think it has to be now.
Dennis, sorry?
It doesn't have to be for the title now. But I think if Dennis wins over Andrews soon, and then Andrews goes and does what he's doing in WWE or whatever, to then come back around this sort of summertime.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. I don't think they're going to go for the belt soon, but that's the only sort of rational booking I can think of around the championship at the moment. Because otherwise, I feel like it's kind of treading water until they figure it out.
Yeah, I'd like to see Mark Andrews possibly in a match with Pete Dunne for the UK title. I think if they use him like that, then all would be fine. That is a possibility. But as you say, when it comes to WWE, you don't know what their plans are. No. So you just have to hold your breath, really.
Exactly. You just have to go in, enter smiling. So overall in the show, it was good. I mean, there was nothing in it. I don't think there was any particularly bad matches on the card at all. If anything, I'd probably have to say that the championship match was the one that impressed me the least, but I think I expected more from it. The tag match was good. The tag title match, the British Strong Style match was fun. Lee and Webster, all good. So yeah, I mean, nothing bad on it, but nothing that I would really say is sort of must watch, unfortunately. Hopefully there was at Chapter 58.
Yeah, it looks like that was a pretty eventful show. So
yeah, well, there we go.
It should be, well, judging by how this one was, it'd probably be on demand by Sunday.
Well, I hope that that's what I'm doing on Sunday night. Other than that, thanks everyone for listening to the show. We'll be back as soon as possible for Chapter 58. Make sure that you keep up with us on Twitter and Facebook. If you search Facebook, it's Screaming for Progress, and we are Progress Scream on Twitter if you want to keep up and just keep up to date with when we're going to be recording and putting new shows out. Other than that, we're all good. So, Liam, thanks again.
Cheers.
Cheers. Peace out, everyone. Don't be a dick.